What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another character rank up video. Alright, so it is finally time to start working on Colossus here. So he's kind of been put on the back burner for a while now since I was using my selectors on magic. And of course I chose the losing side for the ranking event, so I didn't quite have enough biometrics to rank him up to 4 stars. So I did have to use 1 day's worth of selectors to get those last 20 bios so that I could get the 80 that I need here. And then I do have a 5-star and a 6-star rank up ticket that we're going to be using on him. So let's go ahead and rank him up here. So we're going to use our only 80 bios. There we go, get him to 4 stars. And then finally we can get him the rest of the way with tickets. So there we go, 5 stars, and finally use our very last 6-star rank up ticket here to finish him off. Alright, and we are not going to be working on his mastery quite yet because I don't have any of the MFF shards. I've been using all of them on X23. Finally was able to get enough biometrics for X23 to complete her, so now we'll be able to build up these MFF shards again. We could just go ahead and give him a 1-star mastery there just to go ahead and activate his leadership. But he has a physical damage immunity leadership, so same thing as Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and those kind of characters. So nothing too crazy, but it can be useful in PvP scenarios. But still, it's situational, but it's not the worst. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start working on the character a little bit. So we do need to level him up first before we can do the gear. Let's take a look at his skills here. Alright, so 3rd skill, do we get anything from leveling this up? It looks like we get increase to all defense. Yeah, so let's go ahead and rank that up. So we got 29, 31, 33, need to get to level 50, but it's going to cap out at 35% all defense for 10 seconds, so not too bad. So this skill here, you're going to get the all defense boost, and then for 10 seconds after using the skill, there's a 50% chance when you use a regular attack that the cooldown is going to be reset for Hammer Blow, and also a chance for it to be reset for Steel Fist. It reduces their cooldown to 1 second, but the issue I have with this is that his 2 skills right there, as you can see above them, the 1st and 2nd skill are the 2 skills that would be reset from the 3rd skill. And as you can see, 5-second cooldown, 6-second cooldown. At max skill cooldown, you have a 2.5-second and a 3-second cooldown for these 2 skills. So really, you're not really going to notice this because you would have had to just use these 2 skills, and then you would have to have used this skill, and then you can reset it. I mean, maybe you can use it to chain them together, because I'm not sure if this is a permanent 50% chance for 10 seconds, or if it will happen just once during that 10 seconds, because you could use this skill and then say do skill 1-2 and then do a few normal attacks, get them to reset, skill 1-2 normal attack, skill 1-2 normal attack, and repeat that for 10 seconds possibly, so you could get a skill 1 and 2 off like I don't know, a lot of times, I guess, during that 10 seconds. But anyway, we'll have to test that out. And then his passive right here is actually quite interesting. It's really nice, actually, for survivability, but he doesn't have as much damage as you would like, which we'll find out a little later on here. So apply to self, decrease the effects of reflect. So he's an okay counter against like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or something like that that have physical reflect. He can help to deaden that, so he could be useful on a all physical team. You kind of put him on there so it may deter your opponent from using one of the physical reflect characters to counter you. But anyway, he also gets a decreased damage received from supervillain types by 50%. So that's actually quite nice. I'm curious to see how well that will actually work in like World Boss or something like that, to see how much reduced damage he really takes, if it is going to be worthwhile or not. And then here we have his 4th skill, which actually gives him damage immunity for 4 seconds, which is really nice, and of course that's not going to change when you level it up, so he does have some added survivability there. And then his 5th skill, also a really nice skill, because it applies to self, ignore dodge, so that's really nice. You ignore dodge by 100%, so it's guaranteed to ignore dodge. I like that part. And then he has a 100% chance to penetrate super armor, barrier, shield, and all damage immune. So very nice effects here on his 5th skill. Too bad it only lasts for 3 seconds, so it's basically just going to last for the duration of this skill, but he does stun the enemy as well for 3 seconds with this skill, so he's going to get some guaranteed damage hopefully in with the 5th skill here as long as you make contact, and none of that should really change once you level up the skill, because it is a 100% chance, and I don't see the time increasing from 3 seconds. We'll do 1 here. Yeah, it's not going to go up from 3 seconds, which is kind of disappointing. I would like that to be a little bit longer than 3 seconds. But anyway, and then we already went over his leadership. So now let's go ahead and try to roll a ISO 8 set here on him. So for Colossus, he doesn't do a lot of damage, so you don't necessarily need a attack set. Hawk size, I don't need the skill cooldown, so we're going to reroll. So I don't necessarily need to go with Overdrive or Power the Angry Hulk. I mean, you can if you give him like a damage proc obelisk and you want to try to ramp up his damage, but he's mainly going to be a tank for you. So I would be happy with like drastic density enhancement, or maybe binary power. Yeah, was binary power was recovery rate, crit rate, attack speed. Yeah, so I think I'm going to stick with this for now. So give him the HP shield. So I'm going to build him kind of defensively as a tank, but his damage will be quite low, so keep that in mind. If you want to be able to use him to clear like a later floor in Shadowland, if you want to be able to use him in World Boss without having to use like a lot of really strong strikers, you're probably going to want to have a damage ISO 8 set on him and also a damage proc obelisk. But for now, let's go ahead and get him to level 60 so I can kind of finish him up a little bit. So let's cut back to then. Alright, and we are back. So we got Colossus up to level 60, and I did work a little bit more on his mastery, so we have him to 4 out of 6 for the mastery. We'll go ahead and get that finished up a little later on, but as of right now, the mastery isn't too important for testing him out. Let's go ahead and take a look at the skills here. So I finished leveling up his 3rd skill to get the maximum boost for the all defense out of it. And then for his ISO 8 set, we did activate it, so we now have binary power ready to go. And then for his obelisk, we gave him immune to guard break and invincibility. Mainly just going for the invincibility here because we just want to keep him alive as long as possible, especially if you do plan to get him to tier 2, because he basically has the same type of mechanic as Luke Cage or Jessica Jones. He is going to reflect physical damage back, and he has it for up to 150% of max attack, so he does have the Luke Cage treatment, so it's a nice beefy reflect going on there. And then he does get super armor, some all defense, and then increase to his skill and bonus damage, which again, his attack is so low that still even this increase you're not going to notice too much. But as you can see here, he does get super armor from his tier 2, so you don't really need to have immune to guard break on your obelisk because you will have the super armor. But if you're only going to be using Colossus as kind of a PvP character and a counter for Quicksilver, you're going to probably want to put the immune to guard break on, because Quicksilver does pierce super armor, but he does not pierce immune to guard break from the obelisk. And they have, it looks like, fixed the bug that was going on a little while ago, where if you have immune to guard break and super armor on the same character, that one of them seems to get overruled, so then you can get pierced from Quicksilver, because I did have that happen where I had immune to guard break obelisk on my character, and also they had a passive that gave them super armor, and I did get guard broken almost every time, so it looked like the super armor was taking priority over the obelisk's immune to guard break. But I just did some testing right before filming this to make sure that that was in fact fixed, and it looks like it is finally fixed, but I just wanted to make sure, because I don't really use too many combat characters against Quicksilver as of right now. I just use my own Quicksilver for a counter if I see him in timeline, and for PvP, I usually, there's so much going on in the screen from the 3 characters, I don't notice too much if we're getting guard broken or not. But anyway, it looks like that's been fixed, so now you can put on your immune to guard break, and yeah, so now it looks like Colossus is ready to go, so let's go ahead and try him out a little bit. Alright, so here we have Proxima. She is today's preferred world boss, so I thought it'd be okay to just go against her, because I don't think he's going to have the damage to take on Infinity Thanos, and then I don't really want to take him against regular Thanos, because I don't really want him to get debuffed, because I'm thinking we're going to need his 4-star passive intact here to take on one of the world bosses, where he gets the 50% reduction in damage received by supervillain types. because he is going to be pretty much in their face the entire time because his skills are very close quarters. But anyway, we're going to be using this team here. We have Hulk for the leadership, 30% physical, and then we have Red Hulk for the team-up bonuses. So we're going to get some max HP, physical attack, all attack, attack speed, max HP, and physical attack. So we have 3 really nice team-ups here. So hopefully that'll be enough for Colossus, and we'll go ahead and hop in here without any strikers because I'm pretty sure that both of the Hulks will be striking for Colossus anyway, so that should hopefully be enough. And I know his damage is low, but he should be able to take out Proxima, I hope, if we don't die, that is. So let's go ahead and see how Colossus is going to fare here. Alright, so we'll get our invincibility here. And then we do have an iframe on that skill. Alright, so pretty much if you have your third skill active right here, then just use the first and second skill and then start doing some normal attacks, and then your first and second skill should come off of cooldown pretty quickly, but it's not a very good idea to try that out here against the world boss since we're taking a lot of damage, so pretty much die if we do that. Alright, let's get into that iframe. Alright, so far so good. Oh, we got stunned. Oh, we almost died there. Come on, Colossus, finish her off. You can do it. Yeah, there we go. Colossus for the win. Almost died, but we got there. Alright, and he did that a little bit faster than I thought he was going to be able to. So 1 minute and 7 seconds. Probably having the Hulks strike for us might have skewed that a little bit because I do have a damage proc on both of my Hulks there. And we do have regular Hulk's uniform at Mythic, and then Red Hulk, I forget where he is. He's Legendary Heroic or something like that. So those Hulks will do quite a bit of burst damage when they strike. But not trying to take away from Colossus here, so he still did that in a respectable time. So I'm actually a little bit surprised about that. I thought it would take him a little bit longer, but I'm happily surprised about that. So anyway, 1 minute and 7 seconds there. But Colossus is pretty much just going to be a really strong PvP character and kind of a tank against physical damage dealers, because once you get him to tier 2, he is going to be able to reflect a lot of that back, and he can also mitigate reflect as well, which is really nice. So you can take him against a like a tier 2 Luke Cage, you can take him against a tier 2 Jessica Jones and that kind of thing, and he will reduce the amount of damage that's reflected back to him. So that is really nice, so he can still be useful against physical teams that do have that kind of reflect safety net in them. But anyway, like I said, he is a nice character for PvP, but his damage is a little low, his survivability is a little bit low, so not necessarily going to be extremely useful in PvE situations. So keep that in mind if you do decide to get him from the bioselector, if you work on getting him to tier 2, that he's mainly going to be a PvP character. You're probably not going to find him too useful in any of the later floors in Shadowland. You are going to probably have to give him quite a bit of help for some of the world bosses if you want him to get through there. So yeah, definitely I would say a lower option for a premium character if you're going to get the bioselector for him. Of course, go with magic first, and then I would work on him if you have some time remaining on your monthly selector. But yeah, that's just kind of my first impressions and thoughts on this character here. So let me know what you guys think of him, if you kind of have the same feel that I do, or if maybe I should look into him a little bit more and he's probably better than I am thinking. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.